I've been waiting for Aamon's collector skin before I would make a video on him, and finally the collector skin is here. Now using loot bar, you guys can get 40% discounts and bonus MLBB diamonds using my link in the description. That is how I was able to get this skin for so cheap. It is an amazing skin. This is definitely Aamon's best skin. Anyways though, if you guys don't know, Aamon is one of the best junglers right now in the current meta. And I'm talking about for solo to trio queue. You probably won't see him in MPL, but in solo to trio queue, Aamon is a very strong jungler. And in this gameplay, I'm going to show you guys how to completely destroy the enemy team with him. Let's get right into it. Now in this gameplay, I'm dueling with my main man Koyomi. And I want to show you guys how to play Aamon effectively. Now in this team comp, the enemies that are kind of annoying for Aamon would be Sicilian if he maintains his range, Thamuz is able to take you out of his camouflage, of course Harley visions you and does great damage with his ulti, Chip can be problematic as well, but as long as you use the right decisions, right micro and macro, you are going to be totally fine. So that's why in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to fully dominate your games. You guys saw in the thumbnail that I went 22-1-11. How stupid is that? Aamon is so strong if you use him properly, and I'm not even playing in like a trio, I'm just casually playing with Koyomi because I wanted to get a gameplay with this skin. Did I expect to do this? Absolutely not. And also, this Sicilian is the global number 10 Sicilian, so this game is pretty interesting. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, I don't only teach you about the hero, I teach you about the basics of the role and what you need to be doing. Currently in the meta, it is the best decision to always start with the buff on EXP side. So if you can start with this buff and do the letho, it's good. You don't always have to do the letho though, as you will see in this gameplay here. Now, if you don't do the letho, what's going to be happening is that you're not going to have your level 4 for when you gank gold lane. That is why it's almost always amazing when the letho starts on the other side. So if the letho was where my red buff side is, I would have 100% pathed to the letho immediately after taking my buff, and then I would have proceeded to do the rest of my clear. But I don't want to waste my time here. I know that I'm, not going to be level 4 immediately, but there's still a lot of other things I can do. Like I could invade the enemy's green, I could take the gold crab, there's a lot of other decisions I can make. Either way though, Aamon is very invadable in early game, and fortunately for me, the enemy did not pick a team comp that can really abuse this fact. Since Aamon is so weak in early, you want to try your best to play slow and to scale. Once you get 2 to 3 items on Aamon, you have very good damage. Once you get 4 to 5 though, you are literally decimating the enemy. So you want to play him like he is scaling. That is rule number 1. Anyways, this chip's a little overextended. Honestly, I don't know what this chip was doing. If he had flicker, I can excuse making a play like this, but when you don't even have flicker, there's absolutely no reason to be doing this type of shit when you know that the enemy started on blue. Either way though, I wanted to see if Iritha was just gonna recall, and I wanted to make space for my Leslie to clear. You can see that we're really not able to fight too hard even though we have ultimate currently, because you just can't, right? Over here, I'm looking at the map and I saw Thamuz on the turtle, and with that info in mind and playing with Gyro who's a global 3 Thamuz, something very basics about to happen, and that is that Thamuz is just going to start rampaging on the turtle. So because of that fact, and because of the fact that CC's clearing and that Hilda didn't walk up fast enough, it's okay, we just give this turtle. As long as I'm farming properly or looking for a kill afterwards, we can look to nullify and trade a little bit for giving them the turtle. Now for the same reason that I like to use Ice Retry on Joy, the movement speed is way too important. If I was using Flame Retry on Aamon here, this kill on Sicilian would not have been possible. And I just think in general, on a hero that likes to abuse movement speed, you should always be using Ice Retry. On a hero that doesn't need movement speed, for example like a Fanny, you should be using Bloody Retry. For example, on a Fredrin, because of his tankiness, you should be using Bloody Retry. For example, on Alucard though, you should be using Flame Retry because you don't need movement speed. Alu's already crazy for chasing. There's no point to give yourself a movement speed buff and taking away the enemy's movement speed when your ultimate already does that. You get what I'm saying. So because of that fact, it's better to use Ice Retry on Aamon so that you can catch people out like this. Now I think it's pretty basic as to why I let Koyomi go through first, because he can use his ulti and then I can jump in after his freeze, and it did work out very well to confirm that kill on Thamuz. the enemy is making a very big mistake allowing me to get this fed early. Now it's not specifically me, it's allowing Aamon to get this fed this early. Aamon with this much of a farm gap early game means that he is going to be terrorizing the entire game. We already have our first core, we have our boots, and we are just literally having an amazing time. Now I like to build my boots first because actually after this update, the boots give you 15 plus magic power as well, making arcane boots absolutely amazing. And due to that fact, you should be immediately building them because of all the buffs and bonuses, and then immediately be going for your Feather of Heaven. Get Sky afterwards because Sky is amazing on Aamon, and then go immediately for Genius 1 for that extra damage. Of course, his shards immediately apply Genius 1 stacks, that is why it is such a core item. Now this was just a massive miscommunication with Koyo. I was telling him to wait before walking up so that I could land this skill on the Sicilian first and maybe bait his Purify, etc, and he went in too early. Now I don't really know what the objective of Sicilian and Harley was joining in so late when their team was already dead, but isn't it kind of funny that Irithel jumped through the portal and got hit by my ulti immediately, simply because I ulted onto Chip and she landed right in the spot where he was, and then insta-died for it. Fucking hilarious. Althamus is always food for you as long as you are ahead and he does not have Vengeance. The second he has Vengeance though, you're gonna see why I died my one death in this game. It's pretty embarrassing.
I'll free you from your mortal coil.
I mean, when Chip gives you a TP to allow you to escape from his team, you know it's a pretty bad TP. Some pretty decent macro there, isn't it? Either way though, you can see how strong it is once you get Sky Piercer. You're literally rampaging through the enemy team. Combining this with Killing Spree, you're just doing too much. So let's get right onto Genius Wand and let's keep harassing the shit out of the enemy. Also, let me know what you think about the skin. I love this skin and I definitely don't regret the money I spent on it.
Every cut serves the serpent's feast.
When you are fed enough, ganks like this on Aamon become second nature. It is very easy to just dive someone under the turret, insta-kill them, and then use your camouflage and speed up out of your ultimate to just leave the turret and leave the enemy there, stranded. Just, you know, waiting to die pretty much. It's very fun. Either way, I don't want to do this turtle. I would prefer to do the Lord, but if it comes down to it, I might do this turtle. For now though, we can't really save Koyomi, so let's try to get a play on somebody. At least we were instantly able to pick someone off after all of that bullshit top lane. So now I just kind of want to dance a little bit, wait for my team to come back, potentially farm, but if the enemy is starting the turtle, then I do want to be ready.
Initiate retreat.
Forfeit your soul.
In the same way that Xavier's passive can be gained off of the turtle or the Lord, I like doing the same thing on Aamon, so that if at any moment someone comes too close, this happens. Honestly, we're just gonna do the turtle. I know I could have done it 10 years earlier, but whatever. Remember when I said earlier that Thamuz is always killable without vengeance? Well, thank god that we recalled before we died there. But of course, do not do this type of shit. I just got way too greedy, and there was no way that I can really kill him as long as he has vengeance. So if you want to counter Aamon, pick a team comp with a lot of heroes using vengeance. If he happens to ult you, pop your vengeance, you're literally gonna be doing like 1 to 2k damage to him. And if we're being honest, he's just doing it to himself. So besides that though, that's like the really only big counter, besides of course picking heroes that have a lot of AoE. Either way, you can see just how strong Aamon is when you're ahead. It's just way too easy to carry your games, and that is why I say that Aamon is an S tier jungler for solo to trio queue. If you are playing him in solo to trio, you are almost always going to have a good time as long as your team helps you in early game and helps you get fed. And as long as you're getting fed, you're literally gonna dominate every single game. Unless if you are very bad, like this one guy who I've played versus multiple times, who has a really big ego, but he's not the best Aamon player in the world despite being a global Aamon. Low-key, my Aamon's better, bro. It's kind of embarrassing. I mean, I won't say who he is, but he knows who he is. He watches my videos, I know he does.
Enemy battle spell on CD.
Rest, curse. What difference does it make? Just another sacrifice.
After this relatively near-death experience, I decided to go for defense, because I just don't want to die. Also, just know that Aamon's damage is crazy at this point, and that anyone who crosses your path will get instantly killed, so have a bit of an ego and go in, and if you have defense, you have no reason to not have this ego, you get what I'm saying? I mean, realistically, there is nothing that this Irithel can do, and anyone who sees me, or if I throw a shard at them or anything, they just run away now, because I'm just way too fed, way too strong, and do too much. Also, come on, Leslie.
I've come to collect. The end slithers ever closer.
If you guys have made it to this point, pay attention to my target prioritization in these team fights. Did you guys notice how I go in, I get the ult off on the Eerie, kill her, disengage so that Harley can't ult me, and then re-engage once he ults someone, and then I just go in and get the easiest maniac of my life. Also, fuck this chip, bro. He could've given me the Savage, but you know, Leslie Smart, more like Leslie Shart, bro, let's be real. Fuck you. You know I was pissed off when I'm throwing in the third greater insults, bro. Like, my god. Honestly, I really should have died here, but we're alive, fuck it. It's one of those things that I always say. The shit you can get away with when you're fed is absolutely crazy.
Gather at the Lord. Initiate retreat. Great play.
I'll free you from your mortal coil.
Now here I meant to ult the Cecil. I fucked up and accidentally ulted the Thamuz, but it's okay. Honestly, I knew that Thamuz would probably live, that's why I didn't want to ult him, but it is what it is. I probably should have went for the Irithel, but I did get some tunnel vision. Of course, go for the Irithel here over the Sicilian or anyone else because she's the best defense for this lord. Anyways, this gameplay should fully show you just how strong Aamon is and how easy it is to fully dominate your games. Now, even though we played with Koyomi, I'm not gonna say this is a solo carry, but this was definitely a hard carry. Going 22, 1, and 11 in any game is an absolutely crazy KDA. Anyways though, I hope you guys learned a few things about Aamon's micro and macro. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay with the new skin as well. That's it for today though, I'll catch you guys in the next one.